Assalamualaikum everyone. Can you hear the voice now? If you can hear, you can type the message in the chat box. So we will start our today's topic. Okay, so this is Mohammad Tara Siddiqui, and I am service manager from Diwan International. I have some guest speaker from Huawei as well and Jinko as well. Me, Mohammad Talha, and my colleague Asad Abbas will give a brief introduction of Huawei Jinko and the compatibility with Huawei inverters and Jinko panels. And along with us are some guest speaker, Mr. Sarmat Wahab Chaudhary. He's from Huawei. He is country sales manager. He will give about the Huawei inverters, the Huawei technology, and we have some guest speakers from Jinko as well. So let's start our topic. I'm sharing you the presentation.
Can you confirm?
Yes, I can hear you.
Tata, will you be sharing the presentation or I just start?
Yes, I'm sharing the presentation and let us start. Everyone can see the presentation now?
Yes, please make it please.
Okay, so let's start our today's topic. Today's topic is compatibility of Huawei and Jinko Tiger Neon and Type TopCon panels. We will be discussing about the Huawei itself, the company. We will be studying about the Jinko new technology panels and the compatibility at the end. So let's start our presentation. I would like to introduce you Mr. Sanamat from Huawei. He will give you a brief introduction about the Huawei. Later on, we will continue on the Huawei products as well on Jinko. So Sanamat, you can start.
Okay. Assalamualaikum. First of all, thank you all for joining us today in this webinar. This is Mohammad Samad Wahab Chaudhary. I'm Business Development Manager in Huawei Pakistan Smart TV Department. So I will start with the introduction about the Huawei Digital Power and the Smart TV business, and specifically in Pakistan. Thala, can you go to the first page?
Yeah, sure.
Screen is
Okay, we are on the
watching.
first
Go
page.
to page 3. Okay, I will be starting.
Okay.
Meanwhile, I'll change the screen. So basically, Huawei is a global ICT infrastructure solution and service provider, have the presence in more than 170 countries and serving around 3 billion people in the world. That's basically 1/3 of the population of the world, and using Huawei services directly and indirectly. So Huawei has more than 200,000 employees globally, and 55% of that employees are working in R&D. And Huawei vision and mission is to bring digital to every person, home, and organization for a fully connected and digital world. So now I will be giving introduction about the digital power business. Actually, Huawei Digital Power. Tala, can you go to the page 4? So Huawei Digital Power is basically a separate domain founded in 2017. And as you can see that from 2017 to 2022, the growth rate was more than 25%. And last year in 2022, actually Huawei Digital Power had business of around 7.3 billion. That's the revenue. So it has a solid, operations and recognition worldwide. Under this smart digital power, we have basically 5 different departments. Number one is basically smart PV, in which the solar solutions and the renewable solutions are provided. Then there is data center facility, in which data center itself and their power solutions are provided. Then there is basically site power, in which the telecom site power solutions regarding renewable are provided. And then there is drive one. In drive one, Huawei provides basically charging, discharging solution of the vehicle, electric vehicle, and also the AI-based control systems. So if we talk about, as I told in the first slide, that Huawei has more than 50% employees in R&D, and we have around 10. If we talk specifically about digital power, we have more than 10,000 employees and around 12 R&D center. The headquarter is basically in Shenzhen, and the other R&D centers are in Canada, Sweden, and Germany, Japan. So Huawei has basically 1700 plus patents available for the different technologies. And if I talk overall deployment of Huawei worldwide, is more than 300 gigawatt. And if you see an interesting fact that last year it was 90 gigawatt. So major share came last year. So globally, if we see that overall 300 gigawatt. And if I talk about the storage solution, almost 6.8 gigawatt hour storage is installed worldwide. And the world's biggest project of BESS, battery energy storage system, is of Neom City. That is 1.3 gigawatt hour. That is also done by Huawei. Can you go to the part 2, Huawei FusionSolar Pakistan? Actually, your screen is not changing on the display. And I believe you have to reshare it.
Is it?
It's on the first page, yes. It's still on the first page.
At my place, it is still hanged on page number 1.
Yes. You have to get to page 8.
Let me share the screen.
Well, let me stop sharing the screen.
You can start from page 10.
Can you see the screen?
That is page 1 actually. So you have to go to page 9. Yes. Okay.
That one?
Next one. So now, as I already told you about Huawei overall, now I will be talking specifically about Huawei Pakistan. Back. You have to go one screen like that. So actually, Huawei was founded in Pakistan in 1998, and it's been more than 24 years that Huawei is providing different services and solutions in Pakistan. And in Pakistan, Huawei has around 2,600 employees in different cities of Pakistan, and every year Huawei do around $300 billion local procurement for the telecom projects and other digital power enterprise projects. And Huawei has paid around 170 million plus tax to Pakistan in last 5 years. And Huawei is working on different, transfer of technology programs in which there is ICT Academy, ICT competition. And if you talk about solar specifically, we have one program, Solar Star, in which we teach different people related to this industry about the solar system, how to install it, and get them certified from the renowned University of Pakistan. It is with the collaboration of one renowned university, UET. So Huawei basically has installed along with telecom different projects like Safe City, that is very famous project in Pakistan, and it has around 3,000 plus surveillance cameras in Lahore, and it has till now had to resolve around 12 million cases. And also, Huawei has special flood disaster management in 2022, in which there were 5,000 plus network down, and within single day, Huawei achieved to turn on 50% of the sites. Communication is very critical at time of disasters and all. So Huawei has a strong presence in Pakistan and also contributing in the economy. So if I talk about Huawei FusionSolar, that deals with the basically solar business, we have 3 offices and we have 3 partners, in which there is Diwan International, BAM Associate, and E-Power, and they have overall 9 offices in Pakistan. And for Huawei, we have 3 supply chain centers available in 3 big cities like Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi, and we have 9 warehouses all over the Pakistan. So in case of failure, as you know, Huawei has a replacement warranty. So Huawei delivered the new inverter to the doorstep of the customer here, and then after 1 week, pick the faulty one, so that customer don't have to face any hassle. So we have also local partner service team members, as Diwan is our certified service partner. They have local team of 5 members, and also other partners also the local team that are available remotely and visit on site to support on the troubleshooting and also on the commissioning, and in case of replacement, guide the customer how to get the logs and all. So we are focusing, as service is one of Huawei's core values, so we are focusing a lot on the service and providing the best possible services in Pakistan. Next please. So in the last, I will just be explaining about some of the projects. Then we have to go to page 12. Okay, it's not there. So I will be just So I will be just letting you how much Huawei has done in Pakistan. It's around more than 500 megawatt, and we are also commissioning one of the biggest the biggest IPP 150 megawatt string inverters, and it's going to commission next month. That is by static, and that will be a big reference site where we'll be having over 200 KTL inverters and smart transformer stations. So if we talk about the different domains, like Huawei has done projects Huawei product has been used by different EPCs and their customers in different project segments like cement, textile, and also the food industry, the rice industry, flour mills. So Huawei is basically providing from residential scale to utility scale projects. So in Pakistan, in all segments, we have our deployments and also the POC cases. So my colleague Thomas will be explaining further the solution in detail, and he will be telling you about the product. Thank you so much. That's all from our side. If you guys have any questions, you can drop in the chat box, and in the end we will answer. Thank you.
Okay, hello everyone. Good morning. So Taha, let me share my screen. Okay. Sorry. I hope everyone can see my screen, right?
Yes, we can see your screen.
Okay. So as my colleague Samad just introduced about the history of Huawei FusionSolar, and we joined this market since 2011, and Huawei is, you can see we mainly focus on stream water and launched the first smart stream inverter in 2013. And also we are the first vendor who launched the 1,500 watts stream inverter globally. And the recent years we involved air technology and like smart modeling technology to develop those function features like smart air curve, SCI, and like optimizer. So in the next page, I would like to introduce about the new product which we launched in this year, Sun 2050 KTL M3 product. This is a new product we launched this year, Q1, and this product is more focused on like commercial and industrial scenarios. Left side, you can see the key features here. It's compatible with our MERC 1100 watt or 1300 watt the optimizer. And for this inverter, it can we do the update, and the MPPT current can reach 30 amps. So that means it can compatible with the most PV panels which are available in market. And as today, Jinko later will also introduce about the N-type. It's also compatible for the N-type PV modules. Okay, and the max input voltage is around 1,100 volts, and the normal output is around 50 watt. And for this inverter, you can see the weight is only 49 kg, and also you can see the size, the weight is lightening and smaller, so it's very easy for the installer to do the installation and to do the maintenance. And it can support IP66 protection degree. You can install it outside, or you can it's up to your project requirements. And there are two key features it can support. One is arc fault protection, which is the AFCL function I will introduce later. And also it also have the built-in PID recover function. So it will more suitable in the high temperature, high humidity scenario to keep the high performance. For this inverter, it have 8 string and the full MPPT. So 2 string come to 1 MPPT, and Huawei choose the multi MPPT design. So compared with like a traditional central inverter, you can see the multi MPPT design will help to reduce string mismatch. So it will also help you to get higher yields. And here, like I mentioned earlier, it's compatible with the high power module, like the N-type PV modules. And for our inverter, we have a smart MPP max power point tracking algorithm built inside. So the inverter will smaller and faster to check the multi-peak to support the multi-peak tracking, and to make sure the inverter always working at the max power point. And compare with, you can see the max efficiency is can reach 98.5%, and also the European can reach 98%. Sorry, can you guys see my screen? Taha, if any problem, please tell me, okay?
It's okay now.
Yeah, we can see your screen, but can you put your screen on slide share so it can be maximized? Because the text
I'm
is
already
not
sharing. Let me share again. I think there's some issue about this platform. How about now?
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, good. That's good. Okay, and for this inverter, it can support the high reliability. It support IP66 fully sealed design. So IP60 means it can protect against the strong jet of water. Also, it is totally protected against the dust. So it also can keep a stable performance in the harsh environment like high temperature, high humidity, sand and dust scenarios, and high altitude scenarios. So it can best match with several environments. And also you can see in Pakistan, we have a lot of area in summer is very hot scenarios. So it's very suitable also in Pakistan market. And if you compare with this inverter with some other brand solar inverter, you will find the weight and also the size is lighter and smaller a lot. So for one inverter, you just take 2 installer. You can take it on site and do the installation. It won't take too much time. Also, it will save your cost for the installations. And for this inverter, now we have for the communication, we have 2 options. One is for smart dongle, WLAN FE dongle, and another is a 4G dongle. So both dongle are compatible with this 50 kTL M3. And for one dongle, it can max can support 10 piece 50 kTL connect in parallel. So also you can do the commissioning can be synchronized via one single dongle, and the grid connection power control can be achieved through the Wi-Fi or 4G dongle. And for the also the wireless AP is built in for local deploying. And the dongle can be connected with Huawei own FusionSolar Smart PV management. Also, it can connect the third-party management system. So as I mentioned earlier, this inverter, it can support the PID recall function, which have the PID module built in the inverter. So PID is the short of potential induced degradation, and it's normally happens in the high temperature, high humidity scenarios. So the PV module's capacity can be affected due to the temperature and humidity, and you cannot use fully capacity of the PV module, and also the efficiency will be affected. So for Huawei inverter, we have the built-in PID recover module inside the inverter. So when the inverter are off grid at night, so offsite DC voltage will be applied between the inverter PV negative and ground. So this will increase the voltage of a PV negative string and with the respective ground. And with this function, you can help to recover the gap from the PID, recover the harm of PID issues. And you can see compare with some other solutions, like the advantage for this inverter. First, the PID module are built in the inverter, so you don't need to to do the if the module have any problem, you don't need to repair. You just check with Huawei and replace the whole inverter. Also, the self-consumption is very small. It's just a 5 watt night consumption, so it won't take too much power consumption. And we did one case analysis. It's in Guangzhou, China. So it's around 30 megawatt P plant. After half year, we do the comparison between the yield with PID record function and without PID. So the results show that with PID you can have the higher yield is around 1.59% during the 6 months. Okay, and another key function for the safety is about active arcing protection, and we in the industry named arc fault circuit interrupter, which is AFCI. So the arc is to describe the process, the discharging between two conductors. So during this process, you can see the video. During this process, it will generate a lot of heat, and sometimes it got fire and have high risk for the house or buildings. So Huawei developed the self-learning algorithm about these features, and the AFCI function built in the inverter. So no matter the fault happens, it will start to, the inverter will detect it, and if it confirms the arc rear happened, and will stop the system within 0.5 seconds. So here are two videos. You can see the difference. The first one is face FCI disabled. So the arc is continuing to generate, and the system will in the high risk. And in the second scenarios, you can see if FCI enabled and the arc is just one very short time, and the system will detect it and shut down the system. Also, it will send one alarm to the management system to remind you to check. Okay, there's one fault, arc fault happened. So remind you guys to go to on site and do the research. And as for Huawei product, every product we deliver to our partner and clients will be get a lot of tests. And we have fully automatic product line in Huawei Shenzhen. So you can see all the products are manufactured automatically. And the test, we will follow the strict online quality check, like the burning test, the gas leakage test. Okay, so we have also have our own lab, which certified by the third party. So those tools support us to make sure Huawei's products and have the best quality and have the you can see the higher reliabilities. And the annual failure rate of Huawei solar inverter is just 0.5% globally. Another key function that our Huawei solar inverter can support, which is smart IV curve technology. So this can help you to save a lot of time for the operation and the maintenance. So we all know, like for example, 1 megawatt P plant, the size the P plant will take a lot of delivery, and for the P modules, especially for P modules, you cannot 100% to detect the performance after maybe 6 months, after 1 year. Okay, so if any fault happened in traditional way, you will send some guy to go on site and choose some samples and take some special tools and to do the test for the P modules. It will take some time. Also, it will affect the performance of the whole P plant. Okay, so now what Huawei suggests, what Huawei proposed, the smart IV curve technology. You just sit in your office and click the start button. Then the system will do the self-scan for the P modules automatically. And after you can see, like for 100 megawatt P plant, it's just 10 minutes. You will get 3 reports to get you what the fault happened for the P module, and it's in which stream, and any suggestion to repair or replace it. So those reports will be automatically generated by Huawei system. And by now we can support 14 types P module faults can be detected by our system, and with the 0.5% sensor accuracy. And now we already do this function already have the worldwide applications over 15 gigawatts, and to help a lot of people to clients to save operation and maintenance of the system. And for this function, actually in the industry there are 4 levels. You can see for the difference, the call rate and the currency rate, also the currency. Based on different level, based on different performance, so they're named the full level for these functions. And for Huawei, we can achieve you can see the highest level, level 4, like the 95% recall rate, and this is a level 4 requirement, and for Huawei is even better than level 4. And those are the some fault which we can support. Okay, in the last few pages, I will introduce about some successful case globally. The first one is you can see the Qinghai 2.2 gigawatt PV solar plant. You can actually it's the world's largest PV plant globally. And for this PV plant, clients choose Huawei, and there are 3 main features which clients are very certified about this. Like the first smart one, the smart echoes, just like I introduced. It take a very short time and do the scan for for the 100 megawatt P plant or even the gigawatt P plant, and give you a report about the health performance of the P modules. And also for the grid forming functions. So in the we know the solar energy actually is not a stable energy. So with more and more PV solar connect to the grid, it will affect the grid, and the grid will become weak. So there's one index named the source-cycle ratio to describe these scenarios. So lower source-cycle ratio named the weaker power grid. And Huawei, we can support to work in the SDR down to 1.2 scenarios, supporting a stable operation in all grid scenarios. And last point is about safe and reliable. For this P plant, after 1 year, plan is to do the analysis about the availability of Huawei solar inverter, and they invite the third-party TV UV to issue the report. And the report showing that Huawei, the failure rate is less than 0.5%. Also, the availability can reach 99.999%. So those reports are available. We can share with clients if you have any requirement about it. And this is another case for Huawei. You can Huawei substrate factory rooftops. It's a PV self-consumption scenarios, and the total capacity is around 17 megawatts, and the annual PV energy yield is around 21.18 megawatt hour. It can save around 1.8 million US dollar per year, and the ROI for this PV plant is around 45 years. This is another case in the residential scenarios. It's also in China with the PV, also with Huawei self-energy storage system Luna 2000. So the total cost is around 35,000 US dollars, and the annual energy yield is around 3.48 megawatt hours. So with the PV plus energy storage system, it will help you to increase the self-consumption ratio from around 60% to 90%. So those power which you cannot fully use will be not waste. You can keep it in the energy storage system, and the ESS will provide power during the nighttime. during night time to your loads. Okay, so here are three questions, and if you guys have any answer, please you can put in the chat box.
Hello, thank you, Thomas and Sarvat, for giving a detailed introduction about the Huawei company, the new product which Huawei recently launched, the 50 KTL. Thank you for describing its features, the AFCI, the PID control, and everything. I hope all the participants have now have an idea about the Huawei Pakistan, how Huawei Pakistan is operating here, how their technical support works, and everything. One most important thing about any organization or about the product is after sales service. So if you get a better services from any company, you will love that product. So the product's reliability and its everything depends on the after sales service. So I would like to thank you for giving the detailed descriptions and detailed understanding about the Huawei to Mr. Sarmat and Mr. Thomas. So you can note down the questions which were from Huawei, and you can after that you will receive an email. All the participants will receive an email, and you can write the answers over there. These are the 5 questions. Thomas, can you share the question screen?
Okay.
Okay, yeah, this one. Every participants, you can note down the questions. You can give the answers in the chat box as well, and also you will later on receive an email about the questions. You can give the answers, and there is a procedure about how to give the answers and what are the prerequisites to post your certificates and answers. And on one of your participant will be selected as a winner, and it will be awarded a prize. Okay, so now thank you, Huawei team. We have some guests from Jinko team as well. One, I would like to introduce Shehan. He's the sales director from Jinko Solar, and other is Kuntanun. He's technical service manager of Jinko Solar Panels, and Tahir Mohammad Hashim. He's country manager. So I would like to call Shehan. He will give you about the brief introduction about the Jinko Solar company, the new product they have recently launched, the N-type, which we are discussing, which is the headline of our presentation today. So Shehan, you can start your presentation.
Please share your Oops. Mr. Shahan is going to join us soon. We just need 2 or 3 minutes. He will get back to us. Okay, Mr. Shan is back with us. Over to him.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Shahan Talagara for Jinko Solar. I'm the regional sales director for Jinko in this region. I apologize for the technical difficulties faced a little while ago. So I will just start off with a quick introduction about who Jinko Solar is. Not that I think anybody in the solar industry is a stranger to Jinko, but just to remind everybody who we are. So Jinko is a publicly listed company. We are now listed in Shanghai since last year, and we are also listed in the New York Stock Exchange since 2011. That makes us the only solar company in the top 5 selling solar manufacturers to be listed in the New York Stock Exchange. And we have currently a 15% market share globally, and we are the market leader in terms of overall shipments. At present, we have 75 gigawatt of wafers, 75 gigawatt of cells, and 90 gigawatt of modules in-house capacity. So this makes us one of the largest manufacturers, of course, of wafer, where most of our competitors are buying wafers from the market. We have all our wafer requirement manufactured in-house. And out of the 75 gigawatts, 55 gigawatts remain N-type TopCon capacity, which easily make us the largest N-type manufacturer in the world as well. And everybody is talking about AI and smart manufacturing. So Jinko's been working on it for the last few years. Our manufacturers are continuously upgraded to the latest technology. So significant levels of automation is seen in Jinko factories that provide you with the highest level of quality control. So we supply to a lot of large projects globally, and 40% of our supply is targeting the residential and rooftop sectors, which is what we call distribution business. So we are present in many homes and houses around the world. If you look at the overall solar shipments globally, more than 1,235 gigawatts have been installed. Out of that, 150 has been supplied by Jinko. So if you look around, at least 1 in 10 solar panels installed would be a Jinko solar panel. On the side, we have some key projects around the world where we work with providing different products for different types of projects. So this year we are expecting to sell about 60 to 70 gigawatt of solar modules. And you can see we've had a rapid rate of expansion. The global market is expanding, but Jinko is expanding at an even faster rate. Despite being a Chinese origin company, our global marketing center is based out of Shanghai. And given our very strong presence in the US market and being listed in the New York Stock Exchange, we have a factory in the US, 1 factory in Vietnam, another in Malaysia, and 9 more factories in China. While we are providing solar modules and pushing industries, households, and everybody for a zero emission economy, we ourselves have pledged to be 100% powered by renewables by 2028. And by 2023, I think by end of this year, we should almost be like 70% powered by renewable energy. Jinko's global operations, including our offices, our factories. And if you look at three of our factories, for example, the factory in Leshan is already powered 81% by, so 100% by renewable energy. And the other 2 facilities are also powered 100% by renewable energy already at this time. So sustainability remains a key aspect of Jinko, and we try to ensure our suppliers also adhere to these stricter standards. So we have to practice what we preach. And we are focusing on, three main products. We have the solar modules, which everybody is familiar with. We are also having the energy storage solutions, and we also have building integrated photovoltaics. So that's one of the new products where our team will discuss in the following segments. So Jinko's tagline is pretty much, we want to optimize the energy portfolio and take responsibility for enabling a sustainable future. And we welcome you to be a part of this change. Thank you very much.
Everyone, we have Kuntanan from Jinko. He will be discussing about the technical aspects of Jinko Solar. Kuntanan, you can share the screen and you can continue.
Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay, first of all, nice to meet you everyone. I'm Kuntanan, Technical Manager, Asia Pacific from Jinko Solar. Today I will present to you about the technology of the N-type TopCon that we are using right now. So in here's we are global leader for the technological for innovation about the cell efficiency. For we have a 22 time for the world record for the breaking about the new highest efficiency. So from the R&D side, we can make the cell efficiency reach up to 26.4%, and from the mass production is around 24.8, and for the real for the efficient reel that we are using is around like 22% for the N-type. In here is our portfolio for N-type. So we have the call sign for N-type as a Tiger Neo, and for the P-type we have is at for Tiger Pro. Okay, so today I will just forget. Sorry. Okay.
We cannot see your screen. Can you share the screen?
Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's no problem. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, can you see my screen right now?
Yes, it's visible now. Thank you.
Okay, sure. Yeah, definitely. So here from our R&D side, research and development, we have right now over 1,500 people for doing R&D, and for the investment, we have invest for 2.637 billion RMB or Chinese yuan for this to develop for the cells efficiency. And here's our portfolio. Like I told you, it's about we have the call sign to call for N-type as the Tiger Neo. And for the Tiger Neo, we have a Sint 24 Hapka cell from the right hand side of the screen. 24 Hapka cells, 60 Hapka cell. For 54 Hapka cell and 70 Hapka cell, we have 4 monofacial. But for 72 Hapka cells, we have both monofacial and bifacial. And the last one is 28 Hapka cell. This one we have for both monofacial and bifacial as well. So in here, so what I think you guys know already for the cell, we call for 78 Hapka cell, it means this is just only for one side. So if you calculate for two sides, just multiply 78 by 2, we will get the 156 for the full panel. The total number of cells. And for here, So for the monofacial, we recommend like the user to use with solar roof project because like there is no height for making the reflection of the light, right? Because the monofacial is generating electricity only for the front side, only for the one side. So that's mean if you install bifacial on the roof, like that one isn't like no point for using because there is no the area to make the reflection of the sunlight to the clouds and make the sun diffuse to the ground, and from the ground diffuse again for the light phenomenon of the light to the rear side or the back side of the module. And for this and for the monofacial, because of just only for the front side of the glass, that means it's lighter for carrying. So that's mean like a EPC worker, you can like a lifting the module from the crane to the roof is will be more easier and less reduce of the risk for making the module fall down with the on the roof like that. And for the bifacial, we recommend to use with the floating project and for the solar farm project because of for the floating project, like we all know we all already know that the backsheet is already good, but to compare with the glass have much more the protection for the humidity because like when you use with the pond or with the waters, there will be a lot of chance, right, from the water to evaporate and make the humidity can corrode the panels. So if we don't want to corrode the panel, we need to make sure that we put the best material using. So this one we use for the double glass with the floating. And for the solar farm also, why we use a bifacial? Because of bifacial, if we install 1.2 meters to 1.5 meters from the ground, this one will create the reflection rate from the sun diffuse phenomenon. And another thing is not just only for the sun diffuse phenomenon, it's about the albedo. Albedo is the reflection rate of the ground. So we have many different kind of ground. We have like a white paint. We also have the cement. We also have the sand. We also have the glass. We also have water. Water is the worst one that we don't recommend that to use for the making like the for the bifacial gain. That one is not good. But like we compare about to we touch on the car, the black color car, like it will be like quite hot, right? But for the white car, white color, that one is because it's not like like the heat. It's like it's not a lot comparing to the black color. So this is the difference is about the albedo that I'm talking. Okay, so we will go to the next one. This is the project that we are using a Tiger Neo or N-type that we're using for the 54 cells and 60 cell. And we also have the 72 cell and 78 cell as well in here for CNI, for utility scale. And this is the key difference between the P-type and for the N-type. So like we can forgot about like the TopCon first because okay, I will talk about the TopCon later. So P-type and N-type, the main difference is about the process of doping because like it's not just only N-type. That means there is the N-type layer in the N-type, not like that. No matter it's P-type or N-type, both we have P-type layer and N-type layer together. But the difference is which one is has much more of like a bigger layer like that. For example, like you can see from the left hand side, right? P-type, the layer is blue color. It's blue color, okay? And the N layer, the N-type layer is yellow, is orange color. You can see from P-type. It's very big blue color, right? But there is the small one, the small one upper. That one is we call N-type layer, the orange. Okay, this is the difference, the first thing. And then we look into the right hand side of the N-type. We have the big layers as the orange, and we have the small layers as the P-type. You can see from this, the difference of this because of the silicon, right? The silicon, they are 4 electrons. So like the status of silicon is a semiconductor. So if we want to lure it, if we want to catalyze the semiconductor, we need to find other element, okay? We need to find other element to catalyze or to doping into the silicon cells. So we need to consider from the atom mass, the atom mass. So we look into the phosphorus, okay, and the boron. Because of the phosphorus, there are 5 electrons. That's mean like one bonding already, and another one also bonding. So it's 5, right? That's mean there is 1 freedom electron left. Okay, this is phosphorus, and another is the boron. So the boron, there are 3 electrons. One couple is couple already, okay, and another one is waiting for new freedom electron to compatible to stay in here. We call the status of the boron is whole, okay, is whole, okay, whole, positive in here. But the status of the phosphorus is electron, is negative, this one. So that means it's like when we want to lure the man, okay, when we want to lure the man, we need to find a girl, a beautiful woman to lure the man. This is the concept, right? So it's the same thing. We want to lure as much as freedom electron to moving into the main bus bar, and then to the connector, and then to the load, and then to the inverter, and to the load of the customer. So we need to do like whatever we need to do, okay, to make sure that we can bring a lot of more freedom electron here. So that means we lure the freedom electron with the hole from the boron, okay? So we dope p-type at the boron, okay? And we dope n-type as phosphorus. The meaning is the n-type, there are a lot of electron, okay? There are a lot of phosphorus. That means there are a lot of electron. It's the same as a p-type. P-type, there are a lot of boron. That means there are a lot of hole, okay? This is the key difference. But in here, we have p-n junction between p-type and n-type in the middle. You can see from the left-hand side at p-type, right? There is the smaller one, topper, as the yellow one, we call n-type. And the blue one, lower, we call n-type, p-type and n-type. But in the middle, between orange and blue, we have the dark orange. We call p-n junction. So the p-n junction is the key factor that transform the photon from the light and attach with the silicon in here, semiconductors, and the silicon making the vibrating like this, and then the electron moving out from the phosphorus to boron. Okay, this is the key. So you can see from here, I will go to the next slide first and I will come back. So I will talk about the LID. LID is a light induced degradation. So light induced degradation, first time when you use your panel with the sunlight, okay, with the sunlight, or when you use the first time you open from the box, the LID will happen since the first time when you get it out from the box, because of it's not just only the light come to your panel, but your panel can meet with the oxygen that we're using for breathing, like this one. So the oxygen will come into your panel. Comparing between p-type and n-type. P-type, like I said, there are a lot of boron, right? Boron, the complex is like this. It's lacked up like a structure is lacked up like this, right? So that means it's very easier for make the new complex. So make the new complex. That means the boron will attach, will combine with the oxygen, and we call it as the boron oxygen. The boron oxygen, okay? The boron oxygen will steal the photons, The boron oxygen will steal the photons. That means, like, for example, 3 photons come from the sunlight to your panel, right? 3 photons come from the sunlight to your panel, okay? Only 2 photons moving out to make the electricity for you, but 1 photon is trapped. It's trapped in the complex of boron oxygen. This is another thing that cause the degradation of the panels. So we get back into this slide. You can see that p-type, right? There are a lot of boron. You can see from the layer, the blue color. If there are a lot of boron, doping boron, majority is boron. So that means it's very easy, or it's very like have a lot of possibility for making the boron oxygen complex. So the boron oxygen complex will cause the LID between N-type and P-type, LED for the P-type will be more higher. So like a big layer like this of the blue color, right? So it's around like a 1.5 to 2%. This is for the LED for the P-type, but for the N-type is around 0.5%. You can see from the layers, the layer of the boron is very small. So that means it's very hard to get the complex of the boron complex, but we cannot make it disappear for 100%. We cannot make it disappear from 100%. The way we want to reduce the degradation, we need to reduce every way that we need to reduce. So LED is another thing that compare between N-type and P-type. N-type can give you like a more power and more like the efficiency of your panel of the cells. This is the most different thing comparing between N-type and P-type. Okay, so like we cannot make it disappear. We just try to reduce as much as we can, because if we don't have boron, so what happened? If we don't have boron, we don't have the p-n junction. We cannot make the electricity from the solar cell. So that will not be the technology that we are using. So that means is we need to reduce it, not like make it disappear. Okay. Next I will go to the here's I will go to the warranty of the P-type, sorry, of the P-type and for the N-type. Okay. Wait me for a second. I think the slides. Sorry. Okay, you can see my screen, right? Okay, so here's for the N-type, the N-type can like the first year degradation of the N-type is less than 1% comparing to the P-type. The P-type, the first year degradation is 2%. And also the warranty, that the power warranty between N-type and P-type is also different, because the power warranty of the N-type, we give the warranty for 30 years, comparing to the P-type is only for 25 years because of the technology and the quality matters that we are that we are quite sure and confident about the N-type in here. And at the end of the 30 years, the power will be remained 87.4%, not less than this. But for P-type, the warranty at the end of 25 years is 84.8%. So comparing is different. And also with the linear degradation. The linear degradation is the annual degradation. Okay, annual degradation, every year degradation is around 0.4%. Okay, this is for the N-type, but for the P-type is around like a 0.45 for the bifacial and 0.5 for monofacial. This is another thing that's different also in here. And then this is the reliability testing from like the third party company, and that we call another thing is aging test, the aging test. So we will like do everything to the modules. We will make any damage to the module. For example, like we test with the thermocycling, we test with the high temperature, high humidity, and test with a long time like this. This is for example, and we also have the mechanical load testing. We also have the other testing, high-frequency testing, and a lot of things in here. So we can see that for the N-type, comparing the N-type to the P-type, the N-type has the power loss less than P-type. Okay, P-type, the loss in the N-type is less than P-type. You can see from the gray color. The gray color is the P-type, but for the purple color is N-type in here. But the ISC standard said it must be less than 5%. So I believe like every band is less than 5%. But the meaning is if we compare delicately in here, we can see that we give more better comparing to the standard is around like a 1 to 3%. We can give like the lowest one that we can give is about 0.76%. This is the different main things. We go to another thing. This is we call this as the temperature coefficient. The temperature coefficient. The temperature coefficient is very important because many people still understand that if we use the module with the high temperature, that means the power will be so high, right? So this is not true because if the temperature of the module is very high, right? It's very high, the voltage will be dropped. Okay, the voltage will be dropped if the temperature is going high, and if the voltage drop from the power, okay, from the power equal IV, right? Power equal IV. Voltage drop, power will drop also. So this is the thing. So that means the N-type can work better comparing to the P-type in the high temperature field comparing. So for the temperature coefficient for the N-type is 0.29%, comparing to P-type is 0.35%. So the meaning of this is that if the temperature we calculate from the FTC standard, the standard testing condition FTC. So FTC is 25 Celsius degree, right? If the temperature is go up 2 Celsius degrees, it means that to think we need to multiply to 0.29, so we will get 0.58%. Okay, this is the loss comparing from the 100% of the watt peak of the module. This is the thing. Okay, so if we buy the module and it said 100, 600, 450, we will get that power. The temperature must be 25 Celsius degree, and the irradiance must be 1000 watt per meter square. Okay, this is the main things because we use in the real the irradiance, but we not reach that all the time, and also the temperature is also is normally go higher than 25 Celsius degrees. So in here, so we can compare. You can see from the P-type and the N-type that we are using, comparing from the 600 watt peak. Okay, watt peak, 600 watt peak for the P-type and N-type, and the cell temperature aside 65 Celsius degree, okay, for both. And the delta temperature, the difference of the temperature is a 40. We minus from 25, so we get a 40. And the gamma is temperature coefficient. For the P-type is 0.35% per Celsius degree, and for the N-type is 0.29% per Celsius degree as well. And we get the P real 156.4 P-type and 5304 N-type. This is the difference. Okay, the difference. And this is the bifaciality. The bifaciality, this is used for the bifacial function that making the reflection of the light that I gave the explanation from the previous slide. From the N-type also, because of the structure of the cell atom and for the cell efficiency, we will get 80% for the bifaciality factor. Okay, this is bifaciality factor, 80% at the standard, but for the P-type is a 70% at the standard. Comparing, and N-type can give you more the bifaciality factor for more than 10% comparing to the P-type. Okay. And here, this is the low light performance, or we call it that work well under low irradiance. Okay, low irradiance. For example, in here, so you can see that we have the light blue color circle, light blue color, and the circle dark blue color. Okay, the circle light blue color outside, that one is for N-type, 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. But for 7 a.m. to 18 p.m. this is for P-type. Okay, so to give you more clear. Okay, for example, you are the boss, you are the owner. You have 2 employees. The first employee is a Mr. N-type. Mr. N-type go to work early, but stop working very late. And P-type, Mr. P-type go to work lately, but stop work early. This is the comparing. You have 2 employees. Which employee can work for you more? Okay, more time, more efficiency. This is the example as for the length of the MPPT for the operational range of the workings in here. For example, it's maybe a 300 voltage. up to 1000 maximum voltage. This one for 6 a.m. N-type can build up the maximum of the voltage reach up the minimum. So it's maybe around like for example 350, like this one, 350 volt. But for the P-type at 6 a.m. it's only around like 280. So that means it's not working yet for the P-type string. This is the difference. Okay, this is the difference. So like the N-type is around like 350. It can work already until at the end, at the night, almost the night, in the evening. Okay, almost in the evenings in here. So comparing. Okay, this is another story from the temperature, not the same thing. Temperature and erdan is not the same thing. The next one is the bus bar system designed. Okay, like you can see that from the cell. We have the cell at the middle. The cell in the middle is the blue color. The way that we want to make the electricity for go outside for generating, we need to do like whatever way to make the light, the photon light, into the cell. Okay, so it's not just only the light come to the cell, but what about if we have the bus bar? The bus bar is the string line. Okay, the string line, the bus bar across the cell. If the sunlight come into the cell, is okay. But if the sunlight come into the string bus bar like this, so what we will make the advantage of this? So we have the two shapes of the triangle, and also we have circular. The circular is the left hand side. Triangular is the right hand side. For the triangular, if the lights come to this way, it will go out to this way. This is normally. But for the circular, the light can reflect 360 degree, okay, everywhere in here. So if the light come into anywhere, it can go back to the glass, okay? It can go back to the glass and also make the critical angle and make the 100 reflection to the cell again, because this is the quality. Is this the quality of the? This is the quality of we call this at the waves. Okay, the structure of the waves. Okay, we call it as the critical angle. Make 100 reflection, because even the glass is transparent like this one. Okay, because the light can go anywhere in here. And the next is about the 16 bus bar and 10 bus bar, comparing between two cells like this one. For the 16 bus bar, just think like this. This is the string, okay? String, 16 string, 16 bus bar, and 10 BB, 10 bus bar, 10 string. So like this one. So let's think like this. Like for example, the first thing is about the tensile strength. We will have more strength to protect the micro crack on here. Like let's think about like you have a 16 people working and 10 people working, carrying like something like wood like this. 16 people can absorb the force more than 10 people. This is the thing, okay? And you will have the smallest of the gap between the string inside the cell also. That's mean like less area, more strength is harder to break, right? Okay, comparing to the wide area like this. Wide area has more possibility of breaking. And another thing is also is about like the weight. Like think about two city. One city there are 10 roads, and another city there are 16 roads, but the amount of the car is the same. So which one is faster? Like less traffic jam? It must be 16 roads, right? Because we have a lot of ways, a lot of alternative to choose the direction, right? Comparing to the 10 rows like this one. So that's mean the freedom electron can move easily out, can move easily from 16th bus bar into the main bus bar. Okay, this is the difference. And this is the conclusion for the conclusion between for p-type and n-type. Okay, I need to go for a little bit faster. For the p-type is around like 21% for using for the real, and for the n-type is around 22%. And for the LID for p-type is less than 2%. For the n-type is less than 0.5%. Temperature coefficients of the Pmax that using p-type is 0.35% minus 0.35% per 1 Celsius degree. And for the n-type is minus 0.29% per 1 Celsius degree. And for the bus bar design, for the p-type is 9 or 10 bus bar, and for the n-type is 16 bus bars. And the first year degradation for the p-type is 2% and n-type is 1%. And for the linear degradation, 0.55 per year. This is for the p-type, but for the bifacial is for around 0.45%. But for the n-type, this is a 0.4%. Okay, 0.4%. For the performance warranty, 25 years for p-type, and for 30 years for n-type. And for the bifaciality factors, for the p-type is 70%, let's say other standard, and for 80% for the n-type, let's say other standards as well. This is the comparing between in the Ningbo in the China, like we use between the n-type and for the p-type for the 555 watt for n-type Tiger Neo dual glass, double glass, and for the Tiger Pro for the p-type dual glass, double glass as well for 540. And comparing the amount at the same 108 module and a fixed installation white paint 40% for the albedo in here. And the tip angle is 45 degree. Okay, so we get the comparison, and we get that for the n-type can have the module power gain more than p-type. Comparing to p-type is 4.31%. Okay, this is the same. Okay, p-type and n-type Tiger Neo dual glass 555 watt, the same thing, and Tiger Pro dual glass as well. We comparing, this is for the Scout Tribe, this is the cement. Okay, the cement is n-type can get you for the module power gained more than comparing to the p-type is 3.60%. Okay, this is for the PVSS. The comparison between the from the left hand side, this is for the p-type. Okay, the yellow color, but for the green color, the right hand side, this is for the n-type. So you can see that this is the first thing to compare. The first thing is about same area of the module, same area of the cells. Okay, same area of the cell. N-type can give you more efficiency, can give you more powers comparing to the p-type. That's mean what is the meaning? The meaning is you can save more area. You can save the number of the modules. You use the less module. You use less module, and you also save the area as well. This is the advantage of the N-type. If you save less area, if you have more area, what is the meaning? Because you save the number of the module, you save the cost of the BOS cost as well, and you also save the cost of the mid clamp and clamp rail and man work hour and other things. You can focus on the OM, operation maintenance. That one is very important because like we focus on it to make sure that the U generation will still remain every year as a contract. That one is the first thing. You can focus on the walkway, how to make the way to get into to reach the panel more easier than like a step on the panel or something like this. This is the first thing to realize. And not just only for this, because of the output can give you more. You can see from this one. I need to go a little bit further. You can see that from the energy yield, right hand side, comparing to the left hand side, N-type and P-type, N-type can give you more 3.11% energy yield. This is not just only for the number of the module that you use less, and you have more area, and you can get more energy yield also. Okay, you can see this is for the P-type in the Thailand. In the P-type, you can see from here is for the product produced energy is 55 to 38 megawatt hour per year, comparing to N-type 57295 megawatt hour per year. This is a get more 3.7% comparing to the 545 watt peak P-type. Okay, in here. And next week we talk about the BOS cost. BOS, what is BOS? Is a balance of system, right? And for the LCOE is a regulated cost of electricity. So that's mean like the number is less. That means it's very good because you save a lot of money. You save like you get a lot of advantage for this. So we can see that from the single line, the orange one for the single line. This is for the LCOE. The LCOE for the P-type is a 3.8%. 682. But comparing to the N-type is around 3.4. It's less. Okay, it's a lot. It's less a lot because you save a lot from here. It's not just only for the LCOE, but talking about BOS. You can save the BOS as well, comparing to like a 3 graph, like, okay, 3 solid graph like this one. For the N-type, it's a 0.22, but for the P-type, it's a 0.23. Okay, and not just only about this, it's about the IRR as well. For the equity, IRR is a 10.7%. This is for the N-type, but for the P-type, it's a 9.5. This is different. Okay, this is different. And next we go to the last one. The last one I want to talk about is about the cell dimensions. So we have a 182 that we are using with our module from Jinko Solar. This is a 182. What is a 182 comparing to the 210? 182 is mean the dimension as the millimeters mm. 182 for this side and also 182 for this side as well. We call is at the square cell. Comparing to the 210, 210 is a 210 millimeters long side. Short side is also 210 millimeters square as well. Which one is bigger? Comparing, just think about the dimension. 210 is bigger, right? 210 is bigger, it's bigger. So comparing the two things, we use the same mechanical load testing. With the same force, with the same Pascal, same Newton in here. So we can see that this is the below here. The below here we call this at the EL testing. This is the EL testing, and the defect that you see from here, this is we call the crack that making the inactive areas in here. So we can see that after testing from the EL testing or electroluminescent testing, we can see that from the 210 cause a lot of the inactive areas comparing to this. Same thing. Like I compare to you, like you use the iPhone and you use the iPad, you put the same force to iPhone and iPad, which one have the possibility for bending? Exactly, iPad, right? The big one is it's easier for bending, but for the iPhone it's very hard to press. Comparing the same force, okay? We talk about the possibility, okay? And other is about the other factor that happened during the site in here, okay? So that's why we use in here this one. Okay, so okay, I thank you for your attention. I finished the presentation already. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Kandanan and Shehan.
Welcome.
It was a very detailed description about the Jinko N type, and I hope everyone got their answers. That what's the basic difference between the P type and N type? What are the key benefits of the N type? And now we will be discussing. I'm inviting my colleague Asad Abbas. We will be discussing about the question answers and the most important topic, the compatibility of Huawei inverters and Jinko N type panels. So Asad, you can continue.
Okay, thank you, Tala, for inviting me. And can you guys see my screen? Is my
Yes, we
screen
can see.
available to you?
Yeah, your screen is here. Asad, you can
Okay.
continue.
Here is the question number 1. What is the primary factor that determines the efficiency of solar panels? And the next one is, what is the potential disadvantage of P-type solar panels? Because we are using P-type since a half of decade almost in Pakistan, and before them we were used to install poly polysilicon panels, then after mono silicon panels, and now we are moving towards N-type panels. And the question number 3 is, what is the main difference between N-type and P-type solar panels? It's like their structure and the components they are using in it. The question number 4 is, which type of semiconductor material is typically used in N-type solar panels? And the question number 5 is, in terms of temperature tolerance, how do N-type and P-type solar panels compare? Means you have to answer about the temperature the temperature tolerance and the effect of temperature on the modules. As we also know that the P-type modules are more prone to temperature, and we need sunlight along with cooler panel to generate more power. And moving towards the next slide, the question answer regarding Huawei. What is the notable feature of the Huawei Fusion Solar Inverter M5 series? You have to answer the major difference between M2, M0 series and M5 series, as we have 12 to 25 KTL of inverters in M5, and we were used to have 12 to 20 KTL in M2 and M0 series. The second question is, what is the functionality of AFCI? These questions are basically from the presentation. As like Jinko and Huawei both have discussed all the topics already. And the question number 3 is, what is the purpose of smart IV curve diagnosis? 4 is, what is the difference between total power and single phase power limitation? The power limitation is the most important thing with Huawei. The installers are really facing trouble with it, and we have mostly we have mostly the complaints of total power or single phase power limitation. The power meter is not working properly because they didn't follow the instruction regarding the manual, and sometimes they install the CTs in opposite direction, or they have a phase sequence issue. And the last question is, how can we set reactive power setting in Huawei inverters? As we all know, in Pakistan, recently from January 2023, K Electric and other discos have implemented that the inverter should have the reactive power setting to counter the over voltage issue. As we know that by setting reactive power, we can adjust the voltages of the inverter limited to the grid level, as the grid is uh, running with 410 volts line to line difference. And when we apply the reactive power setting, the inverter will adjust itself according to the grid voltages more promptly. And by applying reactive power setting, we can get the dynamic power factor control, as some of the inverters in Pakistan doesn't have the feature of dynamic power control, but Huawei comes along with it. And you just have to answer the basic questions, and you can email us on, let me share a slide at the question and answer criteria for winning Huawei Band 7. Answer questions in webinar, post certificate of this webinar on LinkedIn, tagging Huawei, Jinko, and Diwan International, and email the screenshot to certification@diwan.it. The band is only gifted to the candidate who have answered all 10 questions correctly, 5 from Huawei, 5 from Jinko. And he has to share his certificate on LinkedIn or the other social media. Now, the compatibility of Huawei inverters with Jinko, Tiger, Neo, TopCon, N-type panels. And we have 72 HL4 and 78 HL4 panels. Basically, 72 HL4 panels are ranging from 560 to 585 watts, and the 78 HL4 panels are ranging from 600 to 630 watts. And the Sun 2000 M5 series, which has 12, 15, 17, 20, and 25 KTL, and Sun 2050 KTL M3, and the larger one 150 15 KTL M2. All are compatible with these new technology panels. And on the other hand, we have a slide which is mentioned with the input current and the compatibility. So we have two MPPTs and four inputs in M5 series. Um, though we have 12 KTL or 25 KTL, the current input is similar for each inverter, and we can put a single string of 20 amperes, or we are using two strings. So then we can put 15 plus 15 amperes. The total MPPT current is 30 amperes. Same as for 50 KTL, but we have double of the MPPTs. The number of the MPPTs is double here. The number of MPPT is 4, and the total input is 8. And the next one, the big guy, 115 KTL M2 has 10 MPPTs and 20 inputs, and each has 20 ampere for single input and 30 ampere for two inputs per MPPT. So for the certification, the participant who attend the webinar for at least half the session will get their certificate within 3 to 4 days via email. If someone didn't receive the certificate, so they can email us to certification@diwanit.com. Our team will look after it, and we are very thankful to you guys that we has a largest number of attendees in this webinar as we compare to previous one, and all are very active, and we have hundreds of messages in the chat, and we are trying to respond everyone, but still, if we didn't answer anyone, so you can share your queries at support@diwanit.com. I am typing the email in the chat box. Okay, here you go. For further queries, you can have my number 0300 0300 0222 030, and if I didn't answer you, so don't be panic. You can drop a WhatsApp, and I will surely get back to you soon. Over to you, Tala.
Thank you, sir, for giving the brief introduction about the compatibility of Huawei inverters and Jinko N-type panels. Okay, so most of the participants must have the questions. Asad, can you come to the last slide, please? Most of the participants have a question. Okay, let me share the presentation.
Which one, Tala?
The last page, about the price and about the questions.
Okay.
Okay, so most of the participants must have some queries regarding the Jinko panels and the inverters, and also the about this webinar. So let me discuss. We have asked some questions in the presentation of Huawei as well as Jinko. You must have note down the questions. So you need to answer those questions, and you need to send us the email. We cannot check the answers currently on the chat box because there's too much participants.
It is
So
also easy to take a screenshot.
yeah, you can note down the questions, and you have to answer all those questions to us and reply us on the email which is mentioned, the certifications@diwanit.com. And other most important thing is that after you receive the certificate, you have to post that on social media websites. You have to tag Jinko, Diwan International, and Huawei, of course. So we will be randomly selecting the winner, and the winner will be awarded with Huawei Band 7, and the gift will be delivered to that particular winner. Thank you. In anyone of you have any queries or any related questions, you have got the email ID of our Diwan, you have got the number of Asad Abbas as well. You can come to us, you can ask any questions But most important thing about the webinar is you have to answer these questions in order to win the prize. So thank you for giving your pleasure time with us. See you until next time. And I would like to also thank the Huawei team and Jinko team. They were with us, and we will be coming back with more important topics, inshallah, in future. Thank you, everyone. We are signing off.